What is this? Oh. Everybody poops sometimes. Give us the smoothie. Wake up, sweetness.
Your first time should be more than special.
I'm in, Savannah said. Good Lord, Gemma. When a man and a woman, in this case, really, really love each other, what happens is they fuck.
Ooh, hello?
Oh, dang it, I lost my fish. This next word almost sounds like Quidditch. Quidditch milade Diana Agosiagath an Fiedian. As much as I love fucking you, sweetness. We stared into each other's eyes whilst I moaned in ecstasy. Having consumed half of the bourbon, I keep saying bourbon. You know, every time I mess up on a word, Stunt Mama just shows up.
She had her seductive smile on her lips.
I said we couldn't have sex. I didn't say anything about everything else. Ew. Happy to help, biatch. You are the spark of light and the vastness of my night. His note, like a finality to a beautiful, breathtaking song. Helps if I unmute. Breathtaking song indeed. Hello and good evening. Welcome to Not Thursday Night, because it's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. I got a haircut today, so I'm all conference ready. Yep. Even had all the hair face removed. Feels weird. Not gonna lie. Feels weird. But it will grow back, because that's what hair does, so it's fine. Yes, so I'm very happy to be reading to you tonight. I'm sad, though, that I won't have time to read Fourth Wing in Discord that we've been doing every week. Because this guy has to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Not excited about that part. But it's fine. It'll all work out. So anyway, how are you, Amless? I'm glad the kiddos are on the mend and will be back at school and losing a tooth as well. I mean, just so much excitement all at once. Some good, some probably not so good. But anyway. Oh, puzzle for this evening. Also, I want to point out, if I go back to the homepage, they are in development. I don't know if you can see this, but it says in development, and it shows a picture of a tablet and a phone. Changes are coming. So, they are, they're going to work on that, it sounds like. So that's exciting. Yeah, I can go back to work. That work is good. Next week I have 4 half days because I have 4 different appointments. Holy buckets. That's a busy week. Crikey. 4 half days. I mean, it's nice to have a half work day, but not so much for the appointments. I hope the appointments go well and that they are, you know, providing answers or progress or something. Indeed. Let's see. On my front, we have officially chosen a lot to build the house on. We narrowed it down. We made a choice. It really helps when you have a friend that works in the area of figuring out land for builders and like understanding the grading and, you know, pitches and slopes and how it's all going to work, blah, blah, blah. So we got a lot of good information. We weren't just going in blind. So we've picked a lot. We've told the builder, yep, we want this lot. That's the one we want you to build on. Right now, all we're waiting for is an assessment, basically, to say, okay, building on this lot, this is how much everything's going to cost. And that way we can have kind of a really close as accurate as you can get estimate for the whole project. And if everything looks good, we will sign off on it, give them some money to get started, and we're off to the races. And I gotta tell you, I'm super freaking excited. Once they actually start the build, which will probably be in, I don't know, how many days has it been so far? Because it's 45 days in total. Either way, I think we'll be moving in, assuming nothing weird happens, right? Nothing goes wrong. We should be able to move in by August, September. And I am ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. Can't wait. Because then we can sell the house we're in, and at that point, I can then actually turn my... Because I'll still have to use the green screen for a little while, but once all the stuff comes in that I need to make my office into an actual office, I won't use a green screen anymore, and we'll just use my office as it is. And that'll be wonderful. Very excited. So, that's my news. Anyway, we came here to read a book, and that is what we will do. Especially since we're in Boston, you know? Go park the car. Put the keys in the drawer. Oh, it would also help if I changed scenes. Boom. Done. I got rid of my transition. I didn't get rid of it, I should say. More correctly, I stopped using it for a while. Just so I could, you know, transition faster. I might sit down at my video editing software and make a new one of these days, but for now, we're just gonna fade with the transition. And if anyone's curious, it is 600 milliseconds. That's the length of time. So, anywho, we are on chapter 10. It's called The Military Rules the Roost. Well, I think we already established that, though. I think we already realized that the world police kind of rule everything at this point. Oh, one other note before I actually start reading. I've been chatting with another streamer. I'm going to give her a shout out. And I'm actually just going to copy paste her mute. Because I don't want to... It's easy to spell, but it's the easy ones that I mess up the most. Okay. So this lovely lady, violin chick, yes, she does play a violin on stream. That is an accurate understanding. But she's also an author. And we've chatted, I've emailed, and we've talked a little bit. And I've ordered one of her books. So after we get done reading Midnight Black, I have the next book ready to go. So I'm excited about that. More details to come, okay? More details to come. All right. Page 62, exclamation point midnight for the book and information about our author. Chapter 10, The Military Rules the Roost. Here we go. As I make my way down the hallway, I glance out the windows overlooking Broadway. The human misery remains in plain sight. Was this Pakistan, India event that brought the world to this? Or is this something more sinister yet to be revealed? Life on the planet was bad enough when I left. We had begun to slide into a vast chasm of political stupidity imposed by a self-serving, polarized two-party system incapable of getting anything constructive done. Hatred, bigotry, and intolerance continued to sweep across America. No one knew how to stop it. What happened after I left that brought it to this advanced state? Taking a deep breath, I enter Colonel Chernov's office. Sitting at his desk is an attractive redhead who looks to be in her late 30s. On the wall behind her is another one of those Eagle posters. Along the back wall are 2 offices. The doors are closed. To the left of the redhead is another office, its door also closed. "Can I help you?" I catch a Russian accent since I heard enough of them on Europa. "I have an appointment with Colonel Chernov." "William Russell?" "Yes." She glances at her watch. "Here it comes." "We expected you 15 minutes ago." She gives me a quick once-over inspection before reaching for the intercom. "Sir, William Russell is here." A deep voice booms back. "Send him in." "Through the door to my right, Officer Russell. I'm Antonia Lebedev, Colonel Chernov's administrative assistant. See me if you need anything." "Thank you, Miss." "Antonia." "Got it, Antonia." Colonel Chernov's office is bigger than Wilson's. A 6-seat conference table takes up most of the left side of the room. On the left wall are a series of photos of Chernov posing with military brass, along with a half-dozen military citations, all Russian. The double window to the right of his desk overlooks the same neighborhood I saw from Wilson's office. Chernov, head down, is sitting at his desk reading some papers. "Russell, I'm up to my ass in alligators, so we'll make this short. Have a seat." Alligators? Okay. He speaks with a distinct Russian accent and a quick cadence, like he's in a hurry. I sit and wait. He scribbles something on one of the pages, sets them aside, stands and strolls to the wall of photos and citations like he wants to be sure I notice them. He's lean, in good physical shape for a man that looks to be somewhere north of 65. A full head of light salt and pepper brown hair, eyes to match, with an unsmiling expression that signals he's all business. On the shoulders of his neatly pressed and creased combat fatigues are polished silver eagles. "Settled in okay, Russell?" Working on it, sir." "Hey, Colonel, it's impolite to talk with your back to me." Finally, he turns, giving me a stone-faced once-over before moving to my side. I begin to stand. He stops me, placing a hand on my shoulder. "No, sit, Russell." He's so close I have to pitch my head back to look at him in the eye. "I knew a fellow Russian officer who was in security on Europa. Alexander Smirnov, like the vodka. Perhaps you knew of him?" "Yeah, I knew the bastard. He was in charge of security for my first 4 years there." No, sir. Can't say that I did." "He told me if it wasn't for the bloody ore that keeps this failing planet going, no one in their right mind would go to such a place." "Descriptions can't match the reality of being there, sir." I wish he'd moved back a bit. This feels awkward. Almost creepy. I can smell his warm breath when he exhales. He removes his hand from my shoulder, but doesn't back away. Because you delivered swift justice in that closet, Marseille believes you are our man. Yet another one who thinks blowing a guy away in a closet makes me a perfect fit for what they really do here. Like that man you executed, the world is overrun by human garbage. They all deserve the same fate. Here, we accommodate them. So Lieutenant Wilson told me, Colonel. So glad you confirmed it. Finally, he takes a step back and looks out the window. These goddamn Latinos and blacks are clever bastards. He says some stuff in Russian that's actually printed in the page in Russian. I'm impressed. Either he's unaware that he slipped into Russian, or I wasn't meant to understand what he said. Vicious subhumans, every last one of them. Marseille has given us carte blanche to do whatever it takes to reduce their numbers. Officer Drummond is a good man. He'll show you the ropes. Do you have any questions for me? I'm full of them, Colonel, none of which I'm going to ask, not yet anyway. No, sir, can't think of any. Now blow smoke up his ass, Billy. I plan to give it my all, sir. Do things by our book, and you'll have no problems. Got it, sir. He's offering me his hand. I stand, and we shake. Welcome to the hunting party, Officer Russell. Hunting party? That's putting an interesting spin on it. This guy is just short of spooky land, enough to put me on full alert. Thank you, Colonel. He places his hand on my shoulder again. I see in your file you blew away the top of his head off. Oh crap, now he wants the grisly details. Yes, sir. At point blank range? Yes, sir. Colonel Jackboot puts a hand on my shoulder. Given the circumstances, I would have done the same. His fingers tighten on my shoulder and he's pumping them. My only regret is I wasn't there to witness it, Russell. That settles it. This guy is short a few bricks. That will be all for now, Officer Russell. Welcome to the team. And then we have a short break in the story. That was a very strange first meet, you know? No. Kind of would... If Europa wasn't on the table, yeah, I might buy out of that one. It's like, no, I'm good, thanks. Find somebody else. And sure enough, he feels the same. I could have gone another 17 years without that meeting. Chernov's a cold fish and more than a little threatening in his demeanor. But hey, Billy boy, you're here, not on Europa, so stop your bitching. Whatever comes your way from here on in, deal with it one day at a time. That is, once I'm up to speed on what's going on beyond what I've already seen and heard. Making a quick stop in the break room, I grab a cup of coffee on my way back to the office, where an unsmiling Jade greets me. Ah, you found the break room. Yeah. She smiles. How goes it with the good Russian colonel? He was interesting enough. The first time I heard him described as interesting. As for me, I thought he was a pompous asshole. Jane's pointing to the desk in the back. Go now. Build your nest. I know when I've been dismissed, but before I can, Wilson calls from his office. Billy, a moment please. He hands me a sheet of paper. The accident report you asked for. That was quick, Lieutenant, thanks. Folding the report, I slip it into my shirt pocket. All's well with you and the Colonel? 100%. Good, Russell, good. Come see me if you need anything. As I stroll back to my dune desk, I smile and nod at Hank. He nods, but doesn't smile. My assigned desk is up against the wall between two doors. The door to the right has a men's room sign on it. Not sure what the one on the left is. I've retrieved the accident report from my shirt pocket. Before I can unfold it, I hear a loud voice coming from the room to my left. Someone is shouting, but I can't make out what's being said. Then comes what sounds like a hard whack followed by a moan. I look to Hank, then to Jade. Neither shows any interest. There it was again, only this time it sounds like someone bounced off a wall. I look at Jade and Hank again for a reaction. Nothing. I stuff the accident report back in my shirt pocket, pop to my feet, and take a few steps to the door. Don't go there, Russell. It's Hank. What's going on in there? Business. What kind of business, Hank? The kind that's none of yours. Behind the door, I hear a male voice cursing in a foreign language, followed by another loud whack and a thump, like someone hit the floor. My right hand goes to the doorknob. Billy! This time it's Jade. Her strident tone a clear warning not to do what I'm about to do. What's going on in there, Jade? Nothing that concerns you. Hank stands and snaps his fingers. Hey, turn up your hearing aid, man. We told you it's business. Get away from the door. Damn it. There's another thud and a moan. Turning the knob, I swing the door open wide. The walls are covered with thick sound padding. A black man is lying face down on the floor with his hands handcuffed behind him. He's bleeding from his nose, mouth, and left ear. A man is down on one knee beside him. 50-ish, black hair, trim body, with a twisted, snarling expression that would scare ghosts on Halloween. His right hand is tightly wrapped around a foot-long rubber club. On the inside of his wrist, I can see a tattoo of an eagle like the one on the posters. A third guy, heavy-set, pale complexion, dark curly hair, and a mustache, is leaning against the back wall with his arms folded across his chest. The one down on his knee snaps his head in my direction. Wer zum Teufel bist du? I don't understand a word he said. What did you say? The dude leaning against the wall spits out a translation. He wants to know who the hell you are. He, too, has an accent, but is not the same as the guy down on his knee. This guy sounds French. He closes the distance between us with a few quick steps and slams the door in my face. Now I'm pissed. I don't appreciate having a door slammed in my face without at least a hug and a friendly hello. Swinging the door open again, I take a step inside. Excuse me, but surely you've noticed... Oh wait, that's... I thought that was the French guy. It's not. Excuse me, but surely you've noticed that man is bleeding badly. The guy down on one knee waves the club in my direction. Get your lily white ass out of here. Whatever his accent is, it's thick. I'm thinking German. You should kiss my lily white ass and explain why you're beating a handcuffed man. I step in for a closer look at the black guy. He looks unconscious. In one fluid movement, the one on his knee drops his club to the floor, pops to his feet, and lunges, his right arm rising, his fist coming at me like a deadly snake strike. Whack. His knuckles crunch against the left side of my nose. My hands fly up to my face. God damn it. Down I go, landing on my tailbone. Jesus, mother of God, that hurt. Hey, what's going on? Russell, what the hell are you doing on the floor? It's Lieutenant Wilson. They were beating the hell out of a handcuffed man. And what business was that of yours, Russell? The one that hit me is pointing a threatening finger. Who the hell is this asshole, Lieutenant? Wilson's brow crimps down hard. Officer Gustav Heinz. And Victor Auger. Meet Rod's replacement, Officer Billy Russell. Now, don't the three of you feel just a wee bit stupid? Struggling to my feet, I point to the handcuffed man. For Christ's sakes, Lieutenant, the man's unconscious and bleeding. Russell, be quiet. Wilson's pointing a finger at Heinz and Auger. Get that guy off the floor and out of here. Now Wilson's angrily wagging that finger at me. And you. Your first day, and you're off to a shit start. If you know what's good for you, Billy boy, say something that sounds semi-contrite. Sorry, I overreacted before I... You think, Russell? Your nose is bleeding. Jay, take him to the break room. Get him a cup of strong coffee and educate him before he gets killed by one of our own. Wilson limps off to his office. Jade is at my side with a handful of Kleenex. Hold these to your nose, clean up in the restroom. This Heinz character moves close enough for me to whiff his too sweet cologne. Russell, is it? Yeah? The fool sneers. I expect an apology. I sneer back. Take a deep breath and hold it until I get back. Jade places a hand on my arm and squeezes. Okay, boys. Enough testosterone for one day. Billy, go clean up. In the restroom, I check to be sure my nose isn't broken. It's not, but I'm getting a shiner around my left eye. A few splashes of cold water and I'm ready to go back to face the music. Jade's waiting. Come on, macho man. Hank, cover the phones. Hank smirks and shakes his head from side to side. Bring him back alive, Jade. I make no promises, Hank. Following a few steps behind Jade as she leads me to the break room, I take note of her shapely legs, wrapped in her tight-fitting black slacks. Put your tongue back in your mouth, Billy. In the break room, she points to one of the tables. Sit. How'd you take your coffee? Black, with mushy oatmeal. What? Sorry, Jade. Inside joke. I take a seat on one of the 3 small tables. Jade fixes 2 cups, sets mine down, parks herself across from me, and stares. Miss Myro, you're staring. Wondering what motivated you to do something that stupid. Instinct. Did Chernoff and Wilson not give you the speech, Billy? Yeah, so? Either you didn't listen or you have a thick skull. Which is it? Pick one. Not funny, Billy. In this job, you don't want a prize for being a Mr. Nice Guy. Get with the program, or Wilson will ship you off somewhere not so nice. Embed that thought in your memory bank. She stands with her sexy, expressive eyes trained on me like 2 bright steel beams. You were chosen for this position for a specific reason. The sooner you figure that out, the better your chances of surviving. Come on, take your coffee. If you want to stay in this lady's good graces, Billy boy, convince her you have a working brain. Okay, I admit it. I overreacted. My bad. She shakes her head and rolls her eyes. When we reach her desk, she hands me a sheet of paper with a row of 4-digit numbers. Remember how to use a computer, Billy? Top speed, 15 words a minute. Close enough. When the main screen pops up, click on the case file icon, enter one of these file numbers in the search box, and get educated. And keep your distance from Hines and Augur until further notice. Go. The lady would have made an excellent drill sergeant. As I pass his desk, Hank gives me a "you screwed up" look. Whatever you're thinking, Hank, you'd be right. But then again, I've been digging smelly ore for many years, so cut me some slack. Firing up the computer, I find icons for the internet and case files. I click on the internet first. A screen pops up asking for a password. Hey, Jade, what's the password for the internet? Not until Wilson authorizes it. And when's that? When he authorizes it. Until then, read the case files like I told you. Okay, for now, it's case files. I type in the numbers for the first file in the search box. Up comes a screen. Investigation complete. Case closed. I skip it and move on to the following file. This one documents the death of a drug dealer by the name of Royal Flush, obviously his pen name. His death's attributed to gunshot wounds receiving during a shootout with officers Hank Drummond and Rod Holbrook. With minor variation, the next file read the same, like someone cut and pasted from one file to the next with the exact results. This time, the suspected drug dealer was DOA thanks to the handiwork of Officer Hines and Augur. The next file details the raid of a suspected drug factory. 2 of the 5 suspects were brought in for questioning. There's no mention of what became of them. The information is limited to the date arrested and copies of signed confessions. No charges, no court date. That accounts for 2. What happened to the other 3? Wilson and Chernov's job description slams through my head like an axe splitting a log. Chernov's words replay like one of my bad dreams. Like that man you executed, the world is overrun by human garbage. They all deserve the same fate. Here, we accommodate them. It disappears. Wow. It appears that without my compliance, I become the newest member of a government-sanctioned assassination squad, authorized to off drug lords and their underlings whenever and wherever we find them. And due process be damned. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Damn it, I don't want to have anything to do with this duck. Not now. Next week? Not ever. Russell. Lieutenant Wilson's standing over my shoulder. I'm sure he didn't come over to chit-chat about these case files. Why would he? He probably made a few of the entries himself. I smile and nod. The kind of smile and nod that kept me out of trouble on Europa. Most of the time, anyway. Hey, Lieutenant, I'm just going through old files. And? Well, most of them seem to be educational. Yeah, Lieutenant, very. Sorry to say, Billy, but your first day has been a bust. Sorry, Lieutenant. I should have known better than to stick my nose in like that. Go home and ice that eye. I'm fine, Lieutenant. There wasn't a request, Billy. Go home and take care of that eye. Right. Got it. Ice the eye. But he's not listening. He's halfway across the room on his way back to his office. You blew it, Billy. So do as the man says. Get out of here. I'm up and making my way to the door just as Hines and Augur come strolling back without their bloodied prisoners. I can't resist. I gotta get the last Or I gotta get in the last word. My compliments. You know how to beat the hell out of a handcuffed suspect. Hines gives me the finger and moves on. As I pass her desk, the lovely Miss Jade delivers a warning. Let it go, Russell. And keep the gun and badge visible out there. Remember, lots of ice and several acts of contrition for today's faux pas. All of the above, Jade. Thanks. And that's chapter 10. Woo. So, he's pretty much met everybody, at least that we're aware of, in the department. And has come to the, well, overbearing truth in this reality that things aren't working the same as what he's used to. There's no typical due process, and even if someone comes in for questioning, they probably wish they wouldn't have, and more than likely would have just preferred a bullet instead. Yikes. Not exactly an ideal scenario. I imagine it's going to give Billy a lot to think about, but yet, at the same time, feels like he has to work on letting it go because he doesn't really have a choice. I mean, okay, technically he has a choice. He can kind of get with the program, so to speak. At least look like he's getting with the program until he can figure out more. Or he can go back to prison on a moon next to Jupiter. Yeah. Great options. I don't think they have Disneyland anymore, you know what I mean? I'm not getting that overwhelming feeling. Okay. It is time for Chapter 11. Page 73. Chapter 11 is called Happy Birthday to Me. Aw. It's his birthday. Happy birthday to you. Do boo doo boo boo boo. Superkinson, what's up, man? Are you getting ready to shoot some bugs and robots and stuff with your bro? Not jealous at all. I was born ready to dive. That's awesome. And thank you for the resub. I appreciate you. I actually forgot that that was a thing. I know I turned it back on, but I forgot it was like, you know, there. So yeah, the sound kind of made me go, huh? For a very quick moment. But thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Enjoy the puzzle. It's 420 pieces. Oh, and Stunt is joining you in the puzzle. What interesting timing. Interesting. Shh, you see nothing? You're right. I have no idea what's going on. Let's get Stunt Mama a shout out too. Amlass, are you still there? If not, that's okay. You just got here? Well, welcome. I just thought it was interesting that Super would get the link for the puzzle, and then you suddenly join the puzzle at the same time. It almost feels like a conspiracy. Anyway, moving on. It's a team effort, by the way, guys. It's a team game. Do it together. She has me on camera somewhere, I'm sure. Well, that's not awkward at all. Don't bend over too far. Or maybe do, you know, whatever. Whatever helps. Chapter 11. Happy birthday to me, page 73. There's a flurry of activity at the end of the hall. 4 WPFs in riot gear are racing down the stairs. And now it just got weird. It's only weird if you make it weird. I follow to see what's going on. They're joined by 6 more in full riot gear. Out in the parking lot, they pile into 3 patrol vehicles and peel off, light bars flashing, sirens blaring, and speed west on Broadway. Nothing like a bit of excitement to keep the troops on their toes. I walk along Broadway. Poor souls stare at me with wanting, if not threatening eyes. Where do they all come from? How do they get by? Where do they huddle through the long cold nights? Answers. I need answers. I duck into the clothing store. The place is on par with Goodwill. A friendly sales lady stares at my bruised nose and black eye, but doesn't ask how they came to be. We wade through what's available in my size. 3 pairs of khakis, 3 shirts, dark blue, tan, and pastel yellow. Hopefully it all fits. The total comes to 82 credits. At least the price was right. I'm living large with new clothes, food in the fridge, and a bottle of decent booze. What more could an ex-con who spent 17 years on the Rock ask for on his 40th birthday? Another line of work would be a significant step in the right direction. I'm home a few minutes past noon, toss the new clothes on the sofa, and head for the John. The mirror doesn't lie. I have a first-class shiner on my left eye, and my nose is slightly swollen. Whose fault is that, Billy boy? Stop mama's mama. I'm here, I'm here. Welcome. Not too late. We just started our second chapter of the evening, chapter 11. All that you really missed in the previous chapter, chapter 10, was that he met pretty much everybody else in the department and interrupted a interrogation that was happening. In other words, they were pulverizing somebody. He was making friends, basically, if you want to put it that way. All right. Whose fault is that, Billy boy? Oh, you're welcome. All that was required was you show up and mind your own damn business. The problem is I'm not ready or willing to let their nefarious business brand become mine. Wrapping ice cubes in a washcloth, I flop on the sofa in my loosely referred to living area and apply the cloth to my nose. My neurons are replaying the events of the morning. Wilson and Chernov's in-your-face hold-nothing back description of the job. It's deja vu all over again, only this time, it'll be me zapping suspects with a cattle prod. No, check that. With rubber clubs. But only if we bring them in alive, which we are not required to do. They're gonna test me sooner than later to confirm they've chosen the right man for the job. That'll be crunch time, Billy boy. My thoughts are interrupted by a knock at the door. Billy? It's Jules. Oh, crap. It's Mr. Landlord. Lousy timing. I'm not in the mood. He knows I'm here. Better let him in. It's open. Jules sweeps in like a tornado. The man has only one speed. Did I not tell you to keep the door locked? Who in the hell is this guy talking to me like that? Humor him. I slap my chest with an open hand. It won't happen again. I promise. What's with the washcloth? Ice. Here he comes. He's moving in for a closer inspection. I remove the washcloth. Ouch, Billy. What's the other guy look like? Better than me, Jules. Now, I know why you're back so early on your first day. Come on. Tell me what happened. Ran into a big-breasted old lady. Washing machine broken? What? You're wearing the same clothes as yesterday. So are you, William. Smiling, I pat the new clothes resting beside me. Yeah, but I got new ones. Lucky you. Not going to tell me what happened to the eye? Nope. Okay. Have it your way, soldier. The Energizer Bunny strolls to the refrigerator and swings the door open. Now, what the hell is he doing? Looks like you haven't touched anything. Bologna and cheese sandwich last night. Do you cook? I'm a 5-star Michelin chef, Jules, but only recipes limited to 3 ingredients. Well, William, I can see you're going to be high maintenance. Why is this busybody inserting himself into my life like we're blood brothers? I don't know him from the man in the moon. I'm in no mood for this. Busybody, do your puzzle. Don't you have a sick puppy that needs your attention? Oops. That was a bit aggressive. Billy, tone it down. Relax, will you, William? Be grateful I'm going to fix you lunch. You're gonna do what? Fix your lunch. Jules, no need to do that. He's smiling from ear to ear like he's discovered a stack of $100 bills stashed in the back of the fridge. Whoa, Billy, there's hot dogs in here. I love hot dogs. Invite me to lunch, and I'll do the cooking. There's a method to your madness. Now the old fool's searching for one of the cupboards and finds a box of mac and cheese. What have we here? Golden pearls of joy, hot dogs, mac and cheese, a la Jules, summer's coming up. It looks like I'm not going to get rid of the pest. If you insist, knock yourself out, old man. Jules tosses his head back and laughs. His belly jiggles like jello, and his keychain jangles like chimes swaying in a breeze. While he finishes preparing the meal, I check out my new clothes, trying to decide what to wear in the morning. That I even have a choice makes me feel semi-human. Almost. I decide on the blue shirt and the newer-looking khakis. What is going on? Super does need a lot of help. Oh boy. I'm not even going to get involved in your sibling argument. Hey, Fashion King. The food's ready in a few minutes. Set the table. Be a good host. Offer him a drink. Too early for a shot of bourbon to go with your gourmet meal? Never too early for liquid containing alcohol. Retrieving the bottle, I pour 2 shots, set them on the table, and smile wide. What are you smiling about, young man? It's my birthday, and I'm eating hot dogs and mac and cheese. Well, happy birthday and all those yet to come. How old, William? 44. Jesus, you're just a kid. He raises his glass in a toast. Happy birthday, kiddo. Now we eat. After the slop served on glorious underground Europa, this meal, like that memorable airport cheeseburger, sends my taste buds into overdrive. I dig in with gusto like I haven't eaten in a while. Slow down, you'll choke. Jules, is there no one you can harass besides me? No one around is as much of a pain as you, William. The nose will heal. I wasn't referring to your nose. I sensed right off when you arrived that you were carrying heavy baggage. Heavy baggage. So now you're a psychic? I have eyes, William. I can see. Feel free to close them. I'm not about to let this stranger psychoanalyze me for his amusement. We eat in silence, him stealing glances at me at him until it begins to feel awkward. So, Jules, what do you do besides play house mother? Read, study, learn. Like what? History. If more people paid attention to what took place in the past, the world would be a lot less messy in the present. Go ahead. Ask me anything. I'm a walking encyclopedia. Okay. Here's one. When was Albert Einstein born? Oh, that's easy. March 14th, 1879. I'll take your word for it. Who gets credit for inventing the internet? It's impossible to take credit. The internet to a... I can read. It's impossible to credit the internet to a single person. Scientists, programmers, and engineers contributed, including Robert E. Kuhn and Vint Cerf. If those guys were around today, I bet they'd agree it didn't quite work out as planned. I'm ignoring you, Stepmama. Oh, it's an incredible source of information from A to Z, no doubt about that. Except, of course, for social media. They'd have to build a special sewer plant to flush all away the crap that gets posted. I can't ignore you. Okay, Jules. Who created ice cream? An ice cream-like food was first eaten in China in 697 AD, when a milk and rice mixture was frozen by packing it in snow. Are you having fun with this? You said to ask you anything. I meant serious questions. Ice cream is serious, Jules. He tosses his head back and laughs. Work him, and see if you can get him to fill in a few gaps about what the hell is going on in a world that spun acts of, well, off its axis. Make it sound like you're aware, but want his opinion. Never a day goes by when I don't question how we got to this point. That places you in the majority, son. Like this out-of-control drug epidemic. How will it ever be brought under control? Remember, the drug problem hit the general population as far back as the 90s when opioids came into fashion. What we have now is just an extension. This time, it's 10 times worse, with a bigger selection and cheaper drugs to choose from. Until we find an answer, you guys in drug enforcement are in charge. How does he know I'm in drug enforcement? I never mentioned it. He pushes back and folds his arm across his chest. He's studying me with narrowed eyes, pursed lips, and a furrowed brow. Here it comes. What year were you born? On this day, 2020. Lucky you. You missed all the excitement. Not quite, Jules. On my 13th birthday, my dad thought it was important I understand what the world was going through the year I was born. He gave me a book documenting all I'd missed while I was being potty trained and learning to walk and talk. I was stunned by what I read. And after that? I don't recall many conversations from that period, like maybe the subject was taboo and not to be discussed. Not surprising at all, young man. There are periods in our lives that we box up, stick them in the back of a closet, and try to forget. Like the soldier who survived a war and never speaks of it again. The COVID pandemic was one of them. By the end of 2022, the pandemic had claimed millions of souls worldwide. Over 1 million here in the US alone, as I recall. It was incomprehensible. I lost both my parents. Oh, sorry, Jules. That must have been painful. The memory is still painful. I can't imagine anything worse than what the country is living through now. Jules shakes his head. Back when we were enjoying the spoils of America's success, our brains failed to connect the dots that we were on the wrong course that would lead to all that we're struggling through today. It's also insane, which proves my theory. When it comes to our mental acuity to sustain and protect our chosen way of life, the distance between sanity and insanity is about 1 inch. 2 at the most. He chuckles softly, like that amuses him. My dad once told me, it falls upon each of us as individuals to recognize the pitfalls along the way, do our best to avoid them, and use the time we are given wisely, not only for ourselves, but for others. In the end, he said, that's the true measure of a man and a woman. Yeah, your father was right, William. Or wait. That was Billy talking, not the other guy. Sheesh. Your father was right, William. But most of us live each day like all is okay as long as we get through the day unscathed. That will never change until we learn and accept that we are the real power, the real government. And those we elect are our employees. Who pays their salaries? Us, baby, us. That makes them employees. God knows we treat them well financially. Problem is, we're great at talking the talk, but terrible at walking the walk. 3 steps forward, 1 or 2 back, and repeats. Okay, that's enough history for one day. We have an ad starting, so I'm gonna snooze it. It only snoozes for 5 minutes? Sheesh. Rude. He's up on his feet, strolling toward the door. Where are you going? Gotta go. Things to do. I leave you with these profound thoughts of wisdom. During the pandemic, the total net worth of America's billionaires jumped by $1 trillion. Whatever problems they may have had, they didn't come close to the millions that died or the millions who were sick, lost their livelihood, were forced to choose between food and medicine, or had their electricity turned off, or worse, eviction. He stops at the door. He's thinking again. You know what's wrong with us, William? I never know when this guy is done. I do, but you're going to tell me anyway. Most of us interpret what we hear and see the way we want to, not necessarily what leads us to the truth or the facts, but what supports our core beliefs. Our eyes fail to see and our ears fail to accept the truth and facts that they're staring us in the face. He taps lightly at his right temple. Along with all our fancy technology advancements, we better learn how to use this original computer we're born with, or one day there will be no more human race. we will have left the earth to the animals and insects. Depressing thought. However, everything Jules just told me matches up with that book Dad gave me at the tender age of 13. Perhaps back then I was too young to understand the impact it would have on the future societies. Jules slips his hand in his right pocket, withdraws his money clip, peels off a $20 bill, and holds it in the air. This, the almighty book, is what controls society. It is the bane of our existence and will forever remain so, as long as we insist on placing more emphasis on wealth, power, and possessions rather than life itself. In 1973, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology created a computer program to model global sustainability over time to drive that home. Some years later, it predicted by 2040, human civilization would have perished. Like many others that made apocalyptic predictions, the end date failed to materialize when they said it would. But, my boy, here is the scary part. What that computer predicted back in the 70s has mostly been coming true. So, just in case the computer is correct next time it makes a prediction, we should live our lives the best way we can, leaving nothing to chance. At this moment in time, the score is Earth 1, humanity 0. To add to our woes, they no longer pick up the damn garbage on a regular schedule. So, in parting, I remind you to keep your gun loaded, your door locked, and keep icing that china. Government news comes on the hour. Watch if you dare. Jules, hold on. What is it? Is there a rental car place around here? Yeah, Enterprise on West Broadway. Why? I gotta go down to Rhode Island for a couple of hours on personal business. No problem, William. I'll run you over there. Would you? Would you consider renting a car in your name? Like a dummy, I let my California license expire. I have to apply for one here. He digs into his right pocket, pulls out a keychain, and hands it to me. What's this? My Mazda. Out back in the garage. That's very generous, but I couldn't. Sure you can. I won't have to run you to Enterprise, and you'll have to save the rental cost. If you get stopped, I'll tell them the vehicle was stolen. Huh. Alright, our ad is starting. I'm going to pause it one more time, though. Thump Gaming! You're still streaming, right? I assume so. Yep, playing Valorant. My friends, if you like other good voices, especially commentator-based voices, Thump Gaming is your guy. Currently playing some Valorant. Alright, we'll get to the end of this chapter and then we'll run an ad. That way we get it out of the way. He laughs. Then, like a fart in a whirlwind, Jules is out the door, leaving me alone with my thoughts. What little I've seen in the short time I've been back, and what Jules generously added, sounds worse than what I left behind. Now, there is this world government, WPF officers everywhere, what Jules calls streetwalkers roaming the neighborhoods in large numbers, and a drug enforcement bureau authorized to execute drug lords and peddlers on sight. Why am I not surprised that we're still struggling with some of the same age-old problems? Time and again, we didn't need history's almanac. Failing, like Jules said, to examine the past and learn from it and not simply wish it had gone differently. A wish is not a plan. It never is. like the caged hamster racing around its wheel only to return to its starting point. We replicated past blunders generation after generation, abdicating solutions to less than stellar elected officials present in name only to boost their bank accounts and political fortunes. We sat on our hands with climate change until mass migrations from the most blighted areas began in earnest, resulting in heartless immigration policies concocted by politicians who dealt with it inhumanely. White supremacists and hate groups plied their hatred with impunity, comparing those of color to animals and insects, warning that hordes of immigrants were bringing disease, crime, and unwanted cultural and ethnic changes to the white man's world. U.S. corporations no longer saluted our flag, for in the fast-emerging global economy, replacing loyal workers with robotic machines that didn't require pay raises, vacations, sick leave, or health benefits. It was all about boosting corporate profits at the expense of workers. Fast-moving technology brought us the internet and social media, swamp fields cluttered with cliches, conspiracy theories, and unfiltered trash talk. Ever-active hackers stoked digital warfare between governments, terrorists, and hate groups. Must be something in all that crap that we can be proud of. Everything changes. Nothing changes. Before I head to Bristol, I better read the accident report. I retrieve it from my shirt pocket and begin reading. To my horror, a 58-year-old man named Donald Malcolm Stevens, driving a late-model red pickup truck, swerved and hit Dad's car head-on. Stevens' blood alcohol was twice the legal limit. His sentence was 10 years for vehicular manslaughter. 10 lousy years in exchange for my parents' lives. The right hand tells us how lucky we are to be alive, but the left hand steals it away in a blink of an eye. My emotions rise to my throat. I'm on the verge of tears. Ripping the report into small pieces, I fling it to the floor. The report confirms what I've always believed. When our expiration date arrives, often feeble and diseased, only then do we acknowledge that in the end, nothing mattered beyond human relationships. If we failed those, it was all for naught. Everything else, money, stuff, positions, counted for nothing. The heart stops. The brain ceases to function. And that's it. Death is the supreme equalizer, and we're soon forgotten. Next. And that was a very deep ending to Chapter 11. And good timing. Our ad starts in 20-ish seconds. So we're going to let that play out, and we'll wait to start the next chapter once it's done. So, enjoy your ad break. Go get a drink, go to the bathroom. I will enjoy my tea. And we'll think about that chapter until we get back. Now, if it's anything like last time, you're going to tell me that there are no ads, Atkinson. In fact, it doesn't even say on my screen that ads are playing, which normally it does, so I'm a bit confused. Is it always like this? I am so lost. I'm too tired to get up. I'll stay put. I'm not getting them again. And you don't see ads. Well, you don't see ads. You're subbed. Duh. You're like, I don't see any ads. Okay, now it's telling me. Okay, Amleth sees ads. Okay. It's giving me a countdown to when they're almost done. So we're almost there. Oh, Star Mama's mama, thank you. 19 months. Welcome back. Stop stealing my pieces, Super. Super, steal all the pieces you want. Stump Mama's making fun of me every time I slip up on a word. Too slow, cookie thief. Thank you, Stump Mama's mama. I appreciate you very much. I need more tea. I'm really enjoying this story so far. Oh, and I announced it earlier, but we have some new ears in here. Eyes and ears. There's a streamer. She plays the violin. She's also an author, that violin chick. Some of you may know her. You love the puzzle pick. I'm all about sunrises and sunsets. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. It's nice. She plays the violin. She's actually doing it right now on her stream. But she's also an author. And we've talked. I sent her an email kind of giving her more details on what I do. And she knows that I'm a reading streamer. Like we've talked before. I forget who I raided in with, but that's essentially how it all came to be. Anyway, the point is, I've ordered one of her books. Once we're done reading Midnight Black, we're gonna read one of hers. So stay tuned, more info to come. But yeah, so that'll be our next book is one of another streamers. So it's kind of cool that we get to do that from time to time when I come across streamers that also write. So that's cool. So yeah. All right. And actually, it's kind of funny that I was just talking about her playing the violin, because chapter 12 is called Time to Face the Music. Page 83. And definitely check out this link. Feel free to look at that to acknowledge your author, peruse his works. He's more than an author, he's a director. He's done a lot of film and TV in his career, so it's pretty awesome. Alright, page 83, chapter 12, Time to Face the Music. Here we go. An hour and a half after leaving Boston, I'm cruising in Jules' Mazda SUV down Hope Street in Bristol, Rhode Island, my hometown. The line down the center of the road is still striped red, white, and blue, marking the route of the oldest 4th of July parade in the country. Nothing's changed. It's still New England, small town at its best. My emotions are mixed. I'm happy to be home again, but it's a sad return, not a happy one. Passing through the main downtown area, I take a left on Constitution Street, up over the hill, and slow down to Wood Street. and down to Wood Street. Crossing over Wood, I roll onto Catherine Street, pull over to the curb, and turn off the engine. The street hasn't changed. Old 1- and 2-story clapboard houses line both sides. Down on the right is the house where I grew up. 1 month. One lousy damn month. If not for that horrible accident, I would be with Mom and Dad again. Come on, Billy. You came for a reason. Drive on. Starting the engine, I roll slowly down the street, stopping just short of the house, turn off the engine, and sit staring at my family's 2-story home. The window blinds are closed tight, and the grass needs cutting. As painful as I know it would be, I wish I could go inside to touch and feel things one last time. To let the walls speak to me, reminding me of all the good and decent times that filled this house with so much love so many years ago. I have to find out what's become of the estate. Maybe Jimmy Oliveri is still around. He'd know. He handled all of Mom and Dad's legal affairs. His office was in Hope Street next to the post office, as I recall. I'll drive there and see if it's still there. 10 minutes later, I'm there. Sure enough, there's a sign. Bennington and Oliveri Attorneys. There is a phone number on the sign. Great. I have no interest in going in and explaining my sudden return. Everyone in town and across the state knows what happened. It was all over the newspaper and the Providence TV stations. If word would get out that I was back, some aggressive reporter would track me down and hound me for an interview. With nothing to write on, will I remember Jimmy's number when I return home? Time will tell, breaking the story. When I arrive back at my new digs, I knock on Jules's door and return his car key. I'll get your business taken care of? Yes, I can't thank you enough for loaning me your car. Invite me to lunch again sometime. That's a deal, Jules. As soon as I enter my place, I jot down Jimmy Oliver's office number, hoping I remembered it right, and proceed to place the call on my new office cell phone. His secretary informs me Jimmy's in Denver at a legal conference and won't be back for a week, and would I like to leave a message? Well, yes, I would. She connects me to his answering machine. I explain to Jimmy that I'm back and he should call me on my new office cell, and I end the call. The cell I told Jules I had lost. The government news. Jules said it's on every hour. It's about that time. Let's see what this world government has to report that might give me a nickel tour of a planet I no longer recognize. Loud, glassy, rah patriotic music is playing. A waving white flag with green edging and an eagle in flight in its center fills the screen. Below, it reads, "The People's Cooperative Populist Party, one world in unity. In the name of the Creator, citizens are loyal and supportive." Democracy. I'll bet they are. A deep, commanding, off-camera voice begins. From the World Broadcast Center in Marseille, France, this is World News Briefs on the Hour. The waving flag changes to a sped-up space view of the rotating Earth before dissolving into a photo identified as the President of Turkey. A special combat unit of the WPF invaded Turkey and arrested Turkish President Mirak Demir along with 11 high-ranking military officials on charges Turkey was secretly developing a short-range missile base near the southern borders it shares with Syria. Any military activities outside the World Military Command are against international law. All 12 men have been flown to Marseille to face charges. The video switches to a crowd of several hundred being rounded up by WPF riot squads. The area is thick with smoke from lingering tear gas. Earlier today, in sight of the World Government headquarters in Marseille, the WPF released tear gas and fired rubber bullets to disperse several hundred protesters claiming to be members of the dissident group, Apostolic Channel, who were protesting government population control policies. 12 were injured and 37 arrested. A video comes on. 7 men are lined up against a cement block wall. In Quezon City in the Philippines, 7 men were found guilty of selling illegal drugs on the black market. They were sentenced to death and executed by the Philippine government. Viewers are warned, the following images are graphic. Black hoods are placed over the heads of 7 men. Jesus, they're really going to show this. Oh my god, they're cutting them down with machine guns. My eyes close. When the shooting stops, I open them. The screen is changed to a headshot of a middle-aged man. Shadeh Salat, age 57, senior editor of the newspaper Egypt Today, was taken into custody for posting articles fatally accusing the world government of excessive censorship of the media. Again, the image changes. And the puzzle was finished. Woo. Good job, puzzlers. Pacific Ocean sunset in Washington State. I'm very proud of you. You deserve a puzzle medal of some kind for working together almost perfectly. So close. We're going to leave that picture up on the screen because it looks so nice. My 9-year-old was doing most of the end. He stole it from me. Wow. Okay. You were competing against a 9-year-old at the end there. That explains it. Ooh, I'm staying out of this one. Again, the images changes. I recognize it as the big population billboard at the west end of the Ted Williams Tunnel, but it's no longer lit up. Earlier today in Boston, Massachusetts, in the United States, 3 men driving a late-model blue Chevrolet van and wearing ski masks appeared at the western end of Ted Williams Tunnel. They blocked the road while shooting and destroying the world population billboard. Good God. That's why the WPF was scrambling when I left the precinct this morning. Before racing from the scene, the 3 gunmen scattered leaflets identifying themselves as members of the resistant group Apostolic Channel. Anyone in the Boston area with information is encouraged to call the local office of the WPF. Off to dive into hell? Nice. Enjoy Helldivers. I'll try to grab Zarias' stream. Oh, there it is. Let me pull that up. Got it. Thank you. What the hell is Apostolic Channel? The screen changes to a full-screen photo of a man identified as Alexander Boucher. The headshot is reduced to the lower left corner, revealing a second photo of a large, ornate conference room. A group of all-white men is gathered around an equally ornate conference table. This morning, Commissioner Alexander Boucher addressed the World Council, accusing fellow Commissioner Henry Dion of inflammatory rhetoric in his commendation of the government's population reduction policies, labeling them barbaric. Boucher's photo floats up and to the left. A second photo appears on the right, identified as Commissioner Henry Dion. Quoting a recent worldwide poll, poll expressing support for the government's policies on population control as critical to humanity's survival. Commissioner Boucher accused Commissioner Dion of statements bordering on sedition. Mr. Boucher vowed that if Mr. Dion's rhetoric continued, he would personally file for sanctions against him. Such action would require a vote of 51% of council members. A graphic displaying large numerical numbers appears. The Central Population Control Commissioner reports that for the previous month, 377,000 world citizens died of illnesses, accidents, natural causes, and illegal drug use, reducing the world's population to just over 9 billion and moving the total closer to the government-mandated goal of 8 billion. Are they trying to reduce the world population by over 1 billion people? 1 billion human beings. Unbelievable. The music changes to a bouncy tune accompanied by a cartoon character dancing across the screen. Flashing red text appears at the bottom. World Lotto winners. Happy, smiling families replacing the dancing characters. 7 families are the lucky winners of this week's World Lottery population estimate. Each family will receive government subsidies for 1 year. Congratulations to all the winners. Keep playing Population Lotto. I just really love the background. I wish. You wish what? I guess now that we're done with the puzzle, I could make it smaller. And how are you, Mama House Gaming? And there's a kilobyte in here. Oh my gosh. Sigh, I wish I had a library like that to sit in like you. Yeah, don't we all? You're funny. You are so funny. Go check out my friends, Mama House Gaming and Kilobyte. They are both, in their equal rights, in their own ways, special people to me. And if they're special to me, I want them to be special to you too. And Ms. Sloth, hello. I'm funny? Okay, you are funny. You're hilarious. How are you, Ms. Sloth? From where do you hail? We are just about to finish chapter 12 here. I'm well, how are you? I'm doing pretty good, thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Let me just do this paragraph and then we're done with the chapter. So, geez, there's a lottery to see who guesses the number of people that bit the dust. Death is cheered on like a reality TV show. It's the Roman Colosseum all over again. Welcome to Happy News Hour. Enough of this bullshit. I have my own bag of problems, so unless you have some uplifting news to pass along besides your disgusting world lottery on this, my birthday, forgive me if I turn a blind eye to what crap you might add to this less than uplifting newscast. And that's the end of chapter 12. Yikes. I'm glad to be here. Been trying to catch you live. Well, thank you, first. I'm not normally live on Wednesdays. So that's maybe why you're catching me now. My typical schedule is Sunday and Thursday starting at 7 Central. See, yeah, glad you're here too. He's usually on Sunday and Thursday. Just depends if he has to change this weekday. Yeah, so thank you, Mama House Gaming. I'm leaving for a work trip very, very early tomorrow, and I won't be back until very late Monday night, which is why I'm streaming now. I'm free those times, but took off Twitch last week. I see. So you're a streamer yourself, is that what I'm hearing? Where do we know each other from? I feel like I know your name. I just can't put a finger on it. Why do I know your name? Is there a stream we would have seen each other in? I'm gonna feel really dumb if it's yours and I just didn't realize it. I may be everywhere, but I found you by looking up Reading Fun and loved your trailer. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad it worked. No, I appreciate that, seriously. Not mine, lol, but I think I've seen your username somewhere else. It's possible. I like to pop into other people's streams when I can. Oh, the hot tea. It just soothes the soul. And my throat, for that matter. Does not need to be quite that hot on my warmer, though. Well, yeah, welcome in. We're reading through Midnight Black, as you can see in the top corner. If you want to check out the author, feel free to click that link. Let's see, how long is this next chapter? I'm trying to gauge if we're going to have enough time. Oh yeah, we've got enough time. So we're going to slip in one more chapter, and then we're going to raid out because I have to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Yay. So there's that. But when I get back, we'll be back to streaming on our normal day of Thursday, and we will continue with this book. And by then, I can also show you the book that we're going to start after this one is finished. So, all the good stuff. I'm an early riser. I love sunrises. By the time the sun's rising, I will be on a plane. So, maybe I'll get to see it, depending on I forget which side of the airplane I'm sitting on. But anyway, maybe I won't. Who knows? Alright, chapter 13 starts on page 88 of the printed book. It's called Reality Returns with a Vengeance. So here we go. Leaving on a jet plane, except I know when I'm coming back again. All right. I tossed and turned all damn night, which accounts for my foul mood this morning. At least I have new clothes. Hopefully, being free of the color brown will improve my state of mind. Following 2 cups of coffee, I gather up the accident report from the floor, place the dirty dishes in the sink, gather up my old clothes from where I left them the night before, and dig out my debit card from the left pocket of my pants. It's there along with the crumbled leaflet that guy in the alley stuffed in my hand. I'm betting he was a con man trying to sell me something. When I begin to read, I find I was dead wrong. We must not be guilty of turning a blind eye to what we know in our hearts to be true. The fascist state's failing economic policies are directed at the poorest of the poor. If we did not know better, we would have to assume this allows the thugs of Marseille to rid society of those deemed unfit to share their planet. Call it what it is. Genocide. Look at the streets and the crowded camps. What do you see there? Sacrificial lambs, that's who. We must rise to the challenge and end the way of new world governments, hatred, racism, vulgarity, ineptitude, and greed. The time is now for each of us to stand tall and be counted. If freedom and democracy are to be restored, we must fight. Join the movement. Join Apostolic Channel now and fight side by side to restore our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, free from demagogues who have imprisoned us. Sheesh. It's signed Apostolic Channel, the name of the group reported to have shot up the population sign. Right, I'm gonna put my life on the line for some crazy dissident movement that probably won't make it out of the starting gate. Crumpling the flyer, I toss it on the desk. I need to get a move on. Can't be late again. When I reach the top of the stairs, I hear Jules talking to another man by the front door. They're speaking low. I can't make out what they're saying. Better wait until they're gone, or Jules will engage me in conversation. No time for that this morning. There. Jules closed his door. Downstairs I go as quietly as I can, and I'm out the door just as a late model blue Honda sedan pulls away from the curb. At Sully's newsstand, I pick up a copy of the Boston Globe, a cup of black brew, and make my way to the office. Passing far too many streetwalkers who avoid me when they spy my gun and badge. At the office, Jay sees my black eyes and frowns. Nice blend of black and blue you have there. And new clothes, I see. A great improvement over brown. I've yet to decide whether the lady is just direct, arrogant, or a smartass who enjoys beating up the new guy. Your presence is required in the lieutenant's office. Gustav and Victor are in there, so watch your tongue. I'll be on my best behavior. Hang on to my newspaper until I get back. I have a pretty good idea what the subject of this meeting will be, so I put on my best smile. Gustav sitting in one of the chairs, and Hank and Victor are standing by the window. Wilson avoids eye contact with me. Take a seat, Russell. Take a seat next to the good German Gustav and play nice, Billy boy. I sit at a glance sideways at Hans. He doesn't look at me. Then I make my first mistake of the morning. Gustav, where did you dispose of your suspects after you and Victor beat the shit out of him until he was unconscious and you had to drag him off? Gustav rolls his eyes and leaps to his feet. Schwachsinn! Who the hell do you think you are? Whatever the hell translation of Schwachsinn is, it gets Wilson up out of his chair. Hold on, Gustav. Screw him, Frank. He has no right mouthing off that way. Wilson's wagging a finger at Gustav. God damn it, Gustav, cool it. And you, Russell, no one gives a damn about your code of ethics. Are you reading me loud and clear? Yes, Lieutenant. Good. Keep it that way. I'll assume we're all warm and cozy fellow workers again, and ready to join a bowling league. As long as he... Enough, Gustav. I said it's over. See to it that it stays that way. Now, go find something constructive to do. Billy, stay. Wilson waits until the others leave. Close the door. Here goes. I'm in for another ass chewing. For a man who spent 17 years digging black ore, you're working hard to toss away the only favorable opportunity that's come your way. I'm sorry, Lieutenant. Sorry doesn't cut it. You don't get to change the rules. You carry them out without question. Expect serious consequences if you don't. I hear it in his voice. I see it in his eyes. It's an unmistakable threat. He's short on details, but I get it. Today, you get the benefit of the doubt, but you'd better damn well get up to speed quickly and keep your nose out of everyone else's but your own. Yes, Lieutenant. And if you run into Colonel Chernov, do not tell him where you got that shiner. The new clothes are a nice improvement. Thanks. Having been dutifully chastised for yesterday's misbehavior, I make a speedy exit the hell out of there. On my way to my desk, Gustav pops up from his chair. Wait a minute, Russell. Oh, crap. This prick is not about to be denied his pound of flesh. What now? If you're not part of the team, you are part of the problem. I thought we just settled that, Officer Hines. Now the damn fool makes the mistake of wrapping up a hand around my left forearm. Take your hand off me. Instead, he tightens his grip. With one swift move, my right hand cups his balls, and I squeeze just hard enough so it hurts. He moans and backs up. I move with him, squeezing a little harder. Hank is on me, gripping my shoulders and pulling me back. All right, boys and girls, that's enough. Recess is over. Releasing the Hines family jewels, I back up a step. Explain to Officer Hines in English that that's a bad move to put a hand on me. Gustav sidesteps me, growls, and stomps off to his desk, tossing off what I hope is his final word on the subject. Fick dik. Ik wil der nick. With a smug smile, Victor sidles up to me. He said he doesn't trust you. Okay, sure, I can live with that. Hard to believe I had his testicles in my hand, and he walked away without a fight. Just goes to prove it pays to squeeze a bully's nuts once in a while. Sorry, can't help but laugh at that. Hank looks my way and rolls his eyes. I'm not sure where I'm going, but I stride toward the exit. Jade grimaces and shakes her head. Bravo, Billy. Wonderful display of misplaced male testosterone, as usual. There's a lot more where that came from. Where are you going? Break room for coffee. You're on the street with Hank in 10 minutes. Be right back. I quick pace down to the break room and pour myself a cup of coffee. Damn, it would be great if I had a cigarette to go with it. Got to get myself a pack. Someone enters behind me. Coffee. I need coffee. Ah, crap. It's Colonel Chernov. Good morning, Colonel. Dobre utro. Good morning. He spots my black and blue right eye. Jesus, Russell. What happened to you? A little tussle with the guy in 4th Street. What about? A handout? What else? I told him I had nothing to give, but he insisted I buy him something to eat. When I refused, the fool rushed me. We did a little dance, and he caught my nose with a right before I whacked him a couple of times and turned him over to a nearby street cop that saw the whole thing happen. Geez, even I believe that perfectly delivered lie. Good work. Nasty bunch of immigrant bastards out there. The sooner we reduce their numbers, the better for the rest of us. Keep that nose iced. Yes, sir, I will. Right after you explain why you believe other racial groups are inferior to yours. By the way, Mr. Russian Colonel, sir, I never said the guy was an immigrant. And that was chapter 13. So as you can tell from the story, the world that Billy has come back to has gone to hell in a handbasket, and racism is at an all-time high, as well as many other issues. So, wonderful. Yeah. Makes you wonder if this is a prediction of our own actual future. Now, you remember from the beginning of the story, or if you hadn't heard it, we basically, each of us listening to the story, we get to choose when in the future this story is taking place. So, there is no specific date of, it all started in 2072. Like, there's none of that. You get to kind of make that up for yourself. So it could be in a year, it could be in 10 years, it could be in 100 years. Who knows? But yes, I agree, Stump Mama's Mama. Hopefully not. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for letting me read to you tonight. Seems like a fantastic read. It's a fun story so far, I'm not gonna lie. I am appreciating it. Yeah, so as I said, I will be back Thursday next week after my travels. I will tell you all about the conference that I'm going to for the first time ever. And if I have a house update, I will definitely update you with information as far as that's concerned. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for Super and Stump Mama's Mama for your resubs. I really appreciate it. Have a safe trip. Have a safe trip. See you Thursday. Have a productive and safe trip. I'm definitely feeling a lot safer now that you've all said have a safe trip. So, what? Miss Sloth, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. That was super kind of you. Thank you very much for your subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the channel officially. No more ads for you. I hate ads. They're annoying. I think you're amazing and I'd love to support those I can. Keep doing what you're doing. Well, thank you. Are you... Let me do this. I'm following your channel now, so if you are going to be streaming, hopefully I can catch it. All right. There's a lot of people. You're here as a viewer, I know, but I wanted to. It's my channel. I do what I want. We're gonna go say hi to Zarias, who's the After Hours Broalition. So Super, who was in here, Zarias, and their other brother, Rampage Rhino. They are all one stream team now, called the After Hours Broalition. So we will go raid over there. He's playing Helldivers 2, which is a fantastic game, and I love it. Then thank you. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. Let me just type it out. The Canadian Bros. The After Hours... Did I spell that right? Yes. Yes, I did. Alright. We have a raid message. It's everybody's raid message, so don't worry about the subbed or not subbed and all that stuff. Thank you for being here. I look forward to coming back and reading more to you. It'll be a long week, but we'll get there. We'll make it. Please, 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 take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And have a fantastic night.